Okay, so the reason that was important was that if I bring this torch up right here, those plates will close, telling me now the plates are closed. Fire control says, hey, zero in on that location of the torch right now, because that's going to determine where the top of the material is at. And if you look here, that switch is closed. However, if I zoom in on my tip, it is touching the material. Okay, well, here's what happens next. I'm going to raise the torch in steps, 1/8 inch of steps, even though, and this is off, so I don't really care about this anymore. But here's what's going to happen. I'm going to switch hands here on my phone. I'm going to raise it. Here's 1/8. That tip is still touching. I'm going to raise it again. And I think I hit that twice, but that time you can see where there's a gap now. All right. So the problem here is that I'm going to bring this back down. IHS is still blank there. Here's the problem. That is touching, but those plates closed about 1/4 inch travel ago. I'm explaining myself correctly here. I'm going to press this down again. Let's do this right until I get to those plates to open. Oh, too far. Okay, down. Okay, those are down. You can see that the plates are open, and it's going to tell the torch during the IHS loop to go start your upward travel. So now I am going to raise the torch up 1/8, and you can see the IHS light went off. You can see that on my meter that the contacts have closed. So at the point of closure of those contacts back here, that is when fire control is going to sync the position of the torch for determining the height of the material. So at this point, this is where fire control thinks the top of the material is. However, I'm going to raise this and see if I can do this again blindly. Yeah. All right. I'm going to tap my laptop here to raise it in 1/8. Okay, I heard it move, but it's still touching. Okay, so I've traveled 1/8 of an inch upwards from where the top of the material should be, but I'm still touching the tip. So I'm going to do it again. So it's gone up another 1/8 of an inch, and the material is still touching the tip. Okay, but fire control thinks right now that the top of the material is 1/4 of an inch lower than where it actually is. Okay, I'm going to do another 1/8 of an inch up, and now you can see that there is a gap between the tip of the material. So what I've shown here is that based on the mechanical switch plates, let me back this up. Based on the mechanical switch plates that are back here, if there is any kind of flex to the material, that's always going to throw up your cutting height, and it's always going to throw up your pierce height. You're going to mess up material, especially for me, in some cases where I've done a very large design that kind of covers this whole area here, and then all of a sudden something happens just like that, and it ruins everything just because it's off. Even though I have an automatic torch height control feature installed because the top of the material was determined to be at a point lower than what it actually is, like down here. It throws off the feature. So sometimes I'll lose an arc, sometimes it doesn't penetrate or whatever. And there are features here in fire control, which is Smart V here, smart voltage, where you can use to, see if I can zero in on that, to kind of help with that, to make that automatic. And when I say automatic, it means that I can set, with fire control, I can set my torch height system or the settings in such a way that on the beginning of every cut line, it will tell me, it will determine what the optimum cutting voltage should be for that cut line. But because the IHS was skewed, it throws that off. So it kind of messes everything up. All right. So I have done something, and I'm going to start that on my next video to show you how I've gone about addressing that issue.